The drones that have been causing so much controversy across the country have finally come to California. Coming up, we'll tell you where they're being sighted and what authorities are saying. Plus, one Southern California city decides to stick it to their residents for their fiscal mess. All that and more. I'm Carl DeMaio, chairman of Reform California and a California state representative, representing Assembly District 75. I want to cover this national fixation, really that's the best way I can describe it, with these mysterious drones that were first spotted over New Jersey several weeks ago, by the way. This is not just something that's been going on in the last week. These have been sightings for the last several weeks. Late November was when some of the first social media activity was detected on this. Very large drones in the sky repeatedly, particularly over military installations. Now, previously this week, Congressman Van Drew of New Jersey said that he believed that it was an Iranian mothership with these drones off the coast and that they were spying, but that he thought that it could be possibly the Chinese. And of course, the Biden administration, inept as they are, secretive as they are, have said, we don't know, who's behind the drones. We don't even know if there are drones, even though there's a lot of footage of drones out there. But we definitely know that there's no risk to U.S. security. Okay, so we don't know anything, but we know that there's no risk. Again, January 20th cannot come soon enough. So we're not getting answers on what's going on with the drones. And those of us in California have been kind of like watching it from afar because as of yet, we hadn't detected anything in our own backyard. But now, yes, the drones are being reported in California. A number of places. Here is CBS 8 in Southern California. We are getting reports that they're in Temecula and in San Diego County proper. Listen in.
Tonight, after a wave of mysterious drone sightings in New Jersey, people are concerned and demanding answers, but the government isn't saying much. Now, similar sightings are being reported here in San Diego and across Southern California. CBS 8's Brian White has the details.
This is over my house right now. What is that?
It's a question puzzling New Jersey residents looking up at the sky.
They're just pacing back and forth, going very slow.
Since last month, dozens of drones mysteriously hovering in the Jersey skies at night. Olivia DiMatteo owns a coffee shop near where the drones have been spotted.
They are the size of small cars, almost like a Mini Cooper or a Ford Escape size.
There is a bunch of red lights floating in the sky.
This video was taken by archaeologist Colin Rambo a couple weeks ago in Lemon Grove.
I was driving down the street, just right down the street from my house here, and I pulled my car over.
By the way, Lemon Grove is in southeastern San Diego County, by La Mesa, El Cajon. It's not in the city of San Diego proper, but it's out the 8 freeway to the east.
Because I saw what looked like a fleet of glowing red orbs.
Last night, someone called our CBS 8 newsroom with reports of a large drone sighting above the SR 125 freeway.
There are drones all over the sky.
And this video was taken 3 nights ago in Temecula.
We eventually saw one really fairly close, and it was just about the size of a car. We were at some points right under them, and there was no noise at all.
Music artist and producer It's Nomad Music said these didn't seem like regular planes or helicopters.
They'll be going just straight one direction, and then all of a sudden they'll just zigzag and then keep going or turn around, or they just break really quick.
I reached out to the Riverside County Sheriff's Office. They confirmed the drones were not law enforcement's, and a spokesperson for Camp Pendleton told me they're aware of recent drone activity in surrounding communities, but that, quote, no military unmanned aerial systems training or activity has occurred during the time or place in question. Meanwhile, in Lemon Grove, looking back, Colin thinks what he saw could have been paper lanterns in the air, but he's not sure.
With everything that's going on in the news, all these sightings, just please look up at night, The more we look up, the more chances we'll have to see what's out there.
Brian White, CBS 8.
Look up. We'll see what's out there. I'm not sure that's the solution. I think we need answers from authorities. Something is happening. Someone is putting drones up there. I'm most concerned about the Camp Pendleton proximity here. Temecula basically is on the eastern border of Camp Pendleton. Camp Pendleton is quite large. So that's the Riverside border. There's a variety of open space back there. I would be surprised, though, that the drones would be that far east of Camp Pendleton, but there is that proximity. We've been hearing that a lot of the drone activity has been in or around our military installations. So we need answers. And as a state legislator, I'm calling for answers. I want to know what's going on. The state of California authorities should be looking into this. But my office has inquired with state agencies, and none of them say that they know any activity, know anything about it. And they also can't answer questions as to who's in charge of looking at this. One of the offices said, you should talk to your local airport and maybe FAA. Okay. Look, in other states and other communities, their state and local officials are engaged on these issues, as are federal officials like Congressman Van Drew. So my office will continue to be asking these questions because it is happening in our district, in our region. Last night, I got additional reports because this news report was filed last night. So presumably the reporter worked on it yesterday. But late last night, my office did receive reports of a whirring sound in Escondido, which again is right at the border of my district. So we are looking into the issue in my office. Would love to hear you sound off in the comments below. What do you think the drones are? Have you seen a drone? Who do you think's behind them? And what do you think government should be doing about it? I personally think that the best actors to be taking responsibility for this are the federal agencies, the Defense Department, the Director of National Intelligence, the FBI, to some extent the FAA. But we need answers because it is alarming. But more importantly, it could very well be an actual threat to our national security. Not that people in California in office care about national security threats. If they did, they'd be securing our border. All right, so we will keep you updated on that. Another topic I want to get to, the fiscal crisis that's going to be hitting California, because our politicians at both the state and local level, they have spent us into debt. They are not stopping their reckless and wasteful spending. And what they are expecting is that they're going to be able to put the burden on you in the form of higher taxes and fees. We did see in this last election another attempt to raise a variety of taxes across the board, but no attempt to really curtail the reckless spending. I'm going to want to just give a case study here, and that is the city of San Diego. The city of San Diego says that it is facing a massive budget deficit, and it's a $300 million budget deficit. And voters in this recent election just defeated Measure E, a 1% across the board sales tax increase. Reform California, my organization, led the fight against that tax increase, and we are very grateful that we beat it by a sliver, 5,000 votes, give or take. But, and that's out of hundreds of thousands of votes that were cast. So they didn't get their tax increase. So now they are screwed. They wanted to put the burden on you. So now they're like, oh, what do we do? What do we do? Cut the budget, baby. Stop the wasteful spending. This is a city that invalidated the pension reform initiative from 2012 that I authored and that voters overwhelmingly approved by a 2/3 vote that saved hundreds of millions of dollars a year. And now what are they facing? Hundreds of millions of dollars in massive shortfalls. You think one has to do with the other? Of course it does. The taxpayers' citizens initiative, the taxpayers saving citizens initiative on pension reform from 2012 would have given us a surplus this year. But no, the Democrats who completely control City Hall, there's not a single Republican in office. The Democrats that control City Hall in the city of San Diego have literally stolen an election from 2012, overturned the results, and saddled you with unsustainable golden parachutes for these government bureaucrats. Oh, and at the same time, they have increased the number of middle managers. Here is the stat. The number of program coordinators and program managers went from 70 in 2015 all the way up to 393 today. That's a 400% increase since 2015, but it's worse. When I left office in 2012, December of 2012, we only had, you ready for it? 28 program coordinators, program managers, middle managers, 28. Now we have nearly 400 of them. That is not just a 400% increase, it's an 800% increase. So we have a huge, massive increase in the bloated bureaucracy in the city of San Diego. So it's the giveaways and pension hikes and salary spikes. It's the bloated bureaucracy they've added. Not like we're getting better services. Middle management does not lead to better services. We're not getting more police officers. We're not getting more firefighters. It's all the bloat. And yet they're sitting there trying to raise your taxes. Here's an idea. Since we were able to survive on 70 managers in 2015, let's just benchmark it and go right back to that. Oh, the horror. Oh, what do we do? Democrats can't lay these people off. And by the way, some of these program managers are for diversity, equity, and inclusion programs. Oh, yeah, you bet it. Betcha. For services for undocumenteds. And so all of this is being paid for out of your city budget. It has nothing to do with the core services. So now what are they planning to do? Well, since you didn't approve a tax hike, San Diegans, they're raising your water rates. That's right, 60% hike within the next 5 years. San Diego already has the highest water rates in the country. And now they're going to go 60% higher. And what that means is it's going to hurt working families the most. Utility bills really disproportionately hurt working families, low-income families, because it's a fixed cost in your household budget, and you can't do without water. You need your water, just like you need your electricity and your gas for your car. So 60% increase will make the situation even worse. Where's the money going to go? Again, those same bloated bureaucracy positions, middle management positions, salary hikes and pension spikes, all that's happening in the water department. So a lot of this is going to be what I just mentioned, the invalidation of Prop B from 2012 that spikes pensions for government employees, where they're going to earn more to retire than they actually earned while they were working for taxpayers, so-called working for taxpayers. But on top of that, what they're doing is they are taking the water money and then they charge the water department from the general fund of the city to then move the money illegally. And yes, it is illegal, but they say, oh, but it's a charge. We're providing a service to the water department from the general fund. The mayor and the council are doing good work for the water department. They deserve some of that money to cover their costs. No, they don't. So all that money rolls off into the general fund. It's been the oldest trick in the book. When you can't balance your general fund budget, the politicians increase things like your water rates, then literally siphon off the top. I wanted to explain what's going on in the city of San Diego, even though many of you don't live there, so that you can watch out for this in your own backyard, because it's like a book of dirty tricks that all these government managers share, all these politicians share, as to how they can leave you with the bill and not have to curtail their reckless spending. At Reform California, we are leading the fight to stop tax increases like the one we did in San Diego, to force things like pension reform on the ballot, and of course, make sure that voters are informed across the state on the reckless behavior and decisions, tax hikes and spending decisions made by politicians. But we can't do this without your help. So chip in a contribution right now at reformcalifornia.org. And while you're up on that site, please sign in. This way we can keep you up to date on our voter guides and other campaign updates. We are getting ready to do our voter ID initiative in 2026, and we're going to need your help. So please sign up so that you're kept informed on all of those activities. Until next time, watch for drones in the sky. Watch your wallet from local politicians trying to cover up their reckless spending. I'm Carl DeMaio, Chairman of Reform California and a member of the California State Assembly. Thanks for watching, and I hope you enjoyed this episode. But before you click away, please subscribe to this channel and click that notification button so you get updated when we post new episodes. Plus, like this video and share it with your friends so that we can help spread our message across the state. Reform California with Carl DeMaio is paid for by Carl DeMaio for State Assembly.